Hello and welcome to Unbroken from the Ashes. I'm James Ash. We're doing an Ask Me Anything episode. All right, these next three questions are all kind of related. What keeps you going? How do you never quit? And was there a pivotal time in your life you realized you had this never quit ethos? Awesome questions. And I think they're all related. I'm going to answer them all at once. So it kind of started when I was in 7th to 8th grade when I started wrestling. And the absolute grind of the sport did something in me that I needed. Before this, there was a lot of suffering in life, and I knew I could endure hard things. But this is the first place I saw it kind of paying off, where your hard work, your grit had some actual tangible consequence that you could see, you could apply right now. Now, our wrestling team was not great. Our coach was gigantic, and we did not do well as a team, but it taught me a lot. That transitioned into my time in the military, and going into the Marine Corps, I went to boot camp 1 week after 9/11. I had signed up in January of 2001, open contract. The only two jobs that were available were active duty motor transport or reservist infantry. And I knew I didn't want to be reservist. I wanted to be active duty full time, but I also knew I didn't want to just be a truck driver. And I actually signed up to be in the band because I played the saxophone. I was like, well, I can probably do that pretty good. I totally choked on that audition, and I failed that outright. So I was open contract. So open contract means that you don't have a specific job assignment. You can go wherever the Marine Corps wants you. And so I go to boot camp 1 week after 9/11. And during the entirety of boot camp, I know that I'm going to war. That's what's in the back of my mind. And I know that I'm either going to be an asset or a liability. I'm either going to be someone that can be counted on, or I'm going to be someone that needs, people need to watch their background. And I thought I had what it takes, but I didn't have a whole lot of self-confidence at the time. I was definitely a mama's boy growing up, and I needed to kind of prove this to myself a bit. And during the Crucible, we were doing a night hike on the second night of the Crucible, where it's low light, like you're not allowed to use a flashlight. You're carrying 50 cal ammo cans full of sand or rocks or whatever's in them. And you're just marching in the dark, in single file line. You can't see where you're stepping. And my left foot steps into like a rut on the side of the trail. And for context, I went to boot camp in San Diego and Camp Pendleton. So I was a Hollywood Marine because of where I grew up and where I lived. And so we dealt with mountains. We didn't deal with sand fleas. So I rolled my ankle on the second night of the Crucible, and I pulled my foot out of that trench, and I stepped down again, and it rolls again. And the outside bone of my ankle fractures, the fibula, it fractured. So it wasn't the main supporting bone, the tibia, it was the outside bone. Still very uncomfortable. And so I break my ankle. The recruit behind me picks me up so I can keep marching. I can keep going. And I know this is it. I need to know if I can make it. I'm going to war. Am I going to be an asset, or am I going to be a liability? Do I have what it takes to be a Marine? Because I'm not a Marine yet. I'm still a recruit. I still haven't proven it. I still haven't earned my Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. So this is my chance to earn it. And so I keep going, and I keep going. I keep going the rest of that night. My ankle ends up going numb. It was brutally painful. And then the next day is our ascent to the top of the Grim Reaper, the final pinnacle of the hike, if you will. And we start off that morning, and I remember we tear down our tents, these canvas shelter halves, and we start hiking. We start going. And for the first half hour, my ankle is just killing me. And eventually it goes numb. I don't know if it's from the swelling or nerve damage or what, but my foot just goes numb. Then every time we stop, so we would, every hour or so, we would stop and sip water. We would take our packs off every once in a while and sit on our packs. We would sit down, we would rest, and then I would start feeling my ankle throbbing again. I could feel it swelling inside my boot. And then like, all right, mount up. And you get up and you throw your pack back on. And again, for the next half hour to an hour, my ankle's just killing me. It's terrible. And then eventually it goes numb. And there was a number of times when like it would go numb right as we're stopping for the next rest break. So I went through this kind of grit grind all day, the whole hike. And we get to this one rest spot. We sit down, we take our packs off, we sip water, and the drill instructor says, look around. Does this look familiar to you guys? And it's where we started that morning. We had just walked in a giant circle. They were trying to break our minds. They were trying to break us emotionally. And I had to tell myself, ain't nothing but a thing. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Think about the Marines that were in the Frozen Chosen. Think about the Israelites going through the wilderness for 40 years. Think about the Medal of Honor recipients that we did these warrior studies on. This is just a hurt ankle. Now, I didn't know it was fractured at the time. I thought it was just rolled, but man, it hurt. So I got to keep going. And so then we get to the bottom of the Grim Reaper, and we have this big ascent that we have to go up.
For recruits training on the West Coast, the Crucible concludes with a 9.7-mile hike that begins before dawn, culminating in a final demanding climb up a 700-foot ascent known as the Reaper. Reaching the summit marks the completion of the Crucible.
We were broken down into platoons. The platoon I was in was Fox Company, Platoon 2014. And what you don't want to do is you don't want your platoon to mix with the platoon behind you or in front of you. You want to have platoon integrity. So you would put a couple people at the back of your platoon as what they called bulldozers. So that if someone was falling behind, you would literally push them so that they didn't fall back into the platoon behind you. Like if platoon 2014 mingled with 2015, we got problems. We didn't keep platoon integrity. So they assigned me to be a bulldozer. So they put me at the back of the platoon, and my job was, hey, when someone's struggling, when someone's hurting, you physically push them and you keep us together. That's your job. And so what ended up happening was I gave myself a mission. I gave myself something bigger than myself to think about. And this was my chance to say, do I have what it takes? Am I going to be an asset or a liability? And when you're able to put a bigger mission in your mind, when you're going through hard things, it helps you to keep going. It helps you to find something deeper than what you would do just for yourself. So it gave me a mission to think of that was bigger than myself. And it got my mind off of the pain of my ankle, and we made it to the top. And I think that was the moment that I earned and I learned that we can keep going far beyond what our mind wants to do, because there were so many times my mind wanted to quit. My mind was like, hey, it's easy. There's a bus back there. There's a safety vehicle. You can get back in there. You can stop anytime. I knew that if I stopped, I would be recycled. Because I had a feeling I was hurt pretty bad. And my mind kept telling me, hey, it's okay. You can stop now. My body was saying, hey, this hurts. You're dumb. You got to stop. But when I got my mind right, when I told it to stop complaining, when I told myself, hey, self, these men need you. The people around you need you. Are you going to quit on them? Because if I quit, that's what I'm doing. I'm quitting on them. I'm quitting on my family. I'm quitting on the people that depend on me. So when I changed that perspective, everything changed. And I think that growing up in the time post 9/11, being in the environments that I was in, around the people I was, this ethos of this never quit ethos was burned very deep into my psyche. And it's manifesting now as a stubbornness against this cancer and a never quit even now. And In some places it's brave, and in some places it's stupid. And balancing that out is the trick now. If this is something that you guys like, go ahead and let me know. Do the subscribe thing. If there is something that you want me to talk about, if you have a question for me, drop it in the comments below. And until next time, make today great.